getting ready for this episode, I saw that you help people understand what spirited living is. Can you go into detail
Mm.
about that aspect of your work and what that encompasses, please?
Yeah, I call a lot of my coaching programs spirited living, and I use that term for two reasons. It kind of has two different meanings. Spirited is generally means somebody who is full of life, right? Somebody who is full of passion and energy. And so the coaching programs are meant to do that as well, to help you feel more fully alive, more full of yourself, more full of energy, but also spirited in this sense that it opens up your awareness to your own spiritual guidance team. We all have guides. We all have well-wise, loving ancestors that are here to help lend their strength and their blessing to our purpose. We all have connections in spirit that are with us all the time, and they're always trying to help us out. And if we can get into alignment with that and conscious with that and intentional with that, it becomes truly magical.
In which way have you come to understand that there are these spirits that help guide us? Like what kind of, for yourself personally, come to understand and know that, and also working with other people, how have you come to understand that you know that to be true?
Well, let me first say that even when I get a new client and I'm telling them that I'm going to tune into their guides, I say, you do not need to believe in spirit guides whatsoever. You can consider it just this weird thing that I say. And so I'm not really dedicated to people believing or not believing in spirit guides in terms of literal spirits that are out there, even though I might experience it that way, and more as sources of support that are coming from outside of our self-concept, if that makes sense, right? And the way I came to know that is that when I started doing readings for people, and even before I was doing readings, I would get a sense, I guess I should talk about it a little bit more in present time. When I'm doing a reading now for somebody, and this is sort of how I figured it out, is that if it's my own intuition, it's kind of coming from, it feels like it's coming through me, right? It's like my own senses. It's what I'm seeing. It's what I'm feeling. It's what I'm perceiving. And then I noticed that when I would get a message from a guide, it would come from the side, almost like it was like somebody whispering in my ear, but it was a whole thought, right? And it would just sort of like land. An impression would almost, they feel like they come from the side. And so they feel like they come from more outside of me. And they also come with personality sometimes, right? And so like I will start to feel my own energy change as those messages come in. And I can tell that it's coming from another source. And for me as well, I mean, I was in contact with what I would now call my guides from the time I was a little kid, right? I just remember having these friends when I was a child that were adults when I was a child that weren't there to anybody else. They were my spirit friends, pretty much. And I still connect with them to this day. They take on a very different tone now than when I was a child, but I'm also not a child anymore. And so that's how I came to really know spirit guides. And then it doesn't take long before, again, like I was sharing with you before the show, that you really discover that spirit guides, animal guides, ancestors, all of these things are super common across the world in various cultures. These aren't new concepts. And so once I really discovered that, because I got really into mythology and I got really into, you could say, ancient religions, even when I was pretty young. Thank you, Dollaray's Book of Greek Myths, which most of us got into Greek myths with that. And you just learn that it's actually normal for people to perceive their life as spirited versus as alone and isolated and exiled.